Good morning, AP Physics C students. So I wanted to address some questions and go over some of our results from our survey. Those who took the survey, thank you very much. You got 2 points added to your test score. So that's great. A couple things just to go over a little bit. You guys haven't been really bad about this, but please understand that my grades for stuff pre-distance learning are updated as much as I can. Now I understand that some of you are like, hey, I turned this in, it's there. I did my best, I really did, to try to make sure I went over everything, but some things may have been missed. Now, normally we would go back in my classroom, find the paper, and give you the credit. And I'd love to be able to do that, but literally, I can't get in my classroom. Like, I tried to get my web camera out of my classroom because we only have one at my house with the exception of the Chromebooks. And if you look online, they're like hard to find now. But anyway, I was literally told they just did a deep clean on all the science rooms and they won't go back in there. So I can't get back into my classroom to try to find your stuff, which we would normally do, and then give you the credit. I promise it will be fixed though. You do have that post that says, I need credit for that. Anything you find that, if I made a mistake and you have it, turn it in there, or if you can redo it, I'm very sorry. If the grade's that important, turn it in there. We will figure things out about that. And once we go back, but when I go back for sure, I will definitely fix, I'll go through all the papers I have and make sure grades are updated, which sounds horrible. But anyway, a couple other things. As far as the notes, this was a good one. It was 50-50. Should you turn in 4 or 5 out of 5? Now, I appreciate those of you who did the 5 out of 5 that you think that you need that, and I agree. However, I'm gonna err on the side of caution a little bit here. I'm gonna require 4 out of 5 of the notes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, AP is doing live sessions on YouTube, and once they're done live, they're recorded, you can look at them. But you're gonna be required to look at those. Again, those are the creme de la creme College Board teachers, and they are fed information that no one else is fed to make sure that those specific lectures are going to be built on what the test is going to be about. They will also go over some things that are not going to be on the test that you need to know, and that's important. I did tell this story before. My freshman year of college, my calculus, I didn't take AP calculus, it wasn't offered, or I didn't take it anyway. But the people who took it, who went to Clarkson, when they entered it, they failed Calculus 2 so badly that they did 2 things. A, they made all of them retake Calc 1, and they raised their acceptance score to something else for college for AP Calculus. And I don't know if that's changed since then, but it literally did happen when I was there. So those who thought they went in ahead ended up behind a semester. So, and I'm not trying to use that as a scare tactic, I promise you, but even if it's not covered, you do want to make sure you know it so it doesn't, bite you later. If you're going in engineering and you don't think you need to know about, torque and waves, that's crazy. Just say it. Or you love physics, you don't think you need to know it, that's crazy. Just say it. The electrics, I'll admit there, because that's covered in AP2, so no matter what, but hopefully you get the idea. So you're going to be required to turn in 4 or 5 of the notes. They will be due Sunday at midnight. Be careful. Don't be turning in notes don't be turning in this week's notes next week. Like this week, I'm going to require 2 of the 3 sets of notes turned in by Sunday. Couple things. Please change the file name to what the notes are about, like the topic. Also, those of you with the newer Apple phones, the HEIC file format that they use, I can't view. I'm not trying to be mean, but I ain't downloading the file, finding a converter, converting it, and then turning it in. I have made a request to It's Learning to make them do that, but I think they're a little busy right now. I'd like to have a file converter in there. The best way still just to upload it to your Google Drive and then make sure you can view it and then turn it in, and that will be the best way to do that. As far as the review session time, the time you guys picked was noon. Isn't that the time of your lecture? Like when yours is going on? That's not going to be the time we use. It's either your time or that's AP1 times. Not to be rude, that's not the one we're obviously going to use. I am going to post, I'm going to do 2 to 3 review sessions a week, depending on the topics that they post online, where I will be available, that you can come in and access things. Now, I know what you're thinking. Some of you are like, I don't need help. I know this stuff cold. I'm not trying to be rude. I really am not. But there's a reason. Say hi. Hi. Really? Go get some clothes on. There's a reason that 80% or 70% of students drop out of college, and those are very smart people who drop out of these colleges, is because they think they know stuff and they don't. It's very good to be in there. That was one of the other professors had said something about if you think you're good enough, then help someone who's not good enough. And if you've noticed, that's how I structure my classroom. I don't do that on purpose because I don't know the information. even though I fake it pretty well when I do, just saying. But no, you get the idea. So I do recommend you attend at least one of those a week, but you don't have to. If it's stuff like, I just know this stuff so freaking cold, great. I do highly recommend you still show up. This is exactly how college is run. You have a lecture where you really can't ask questions. You kind of can, but if you're in a lecture hall with 500 people or 200 people, or you go to a tiny school like Miss Cooper did with 30 people, that's different. What happens is you have a session with a TA, and some of them are very helpful, and some of them are not. Hopefully I'll be the helpful kind, but if they're not helpful, then we have each other. You will all be able to help each other out here when we're stuck on stuff, and that's going to be the important part. So please make sure that you do try to attend one of those. I will post them on Sunday or Monday what times they will be so that you can. I will also be doing impromptu ones. So, and there might be a time when I'm like, hey, I got time. My kids are playing and I'm not doing anything. And I'll put a post out, and it's only going to be through It's Learning on the announcements page because I don't want to muffle up remind, hey, I'm going to do a impromptu session in 20 minutes, and that gives you a chance to do it. Again, not required, but I'm trying to make myself available as much as I can. And I can't give you times because the time you guys picked, unfortunately, wasn't the best choice. And it was overwhelmingly the choice. But I will pick some times. I'm going to pick a time later in the day as well, so that those of you who are in AP who are doing those sessions. One student yesterday also talked about that he was trying to do more of them to get a preview of upcoming AP classes. That's not a bad idea, but don't overwhelm yourself. And again, I really highly recommend, even if you feel you know these, make sure you're doing a good job. Try to do all 5 if you can, because again, these are teachers who are fed. They're the creme de la creme of the AP College Board teachers, but they're fed information that no one else is fed to custom tailor these videos to this new test format. I personally believe, and one of the professors confirmed that you're going to have a lot of qualitative analysis, because that's the stuff where cheating's not going to help, like looking up things online. Like if I say, if I double this, what will this do? You can't just find that information online, and that was that factors of change thing I had mentioned in the last review session. Let's see, a couple other things. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself. I think I went over, if you guys have stuff that's a mistake, turn it into there. If it's something that you said, hey, you said you would do this. Guys, that last week was kind of crazy. Try to find proof that if you have hey, I did this, here's the proof, here's the check mark, turn it into I need the grade for that. All of the posts that will be going out now, you can re-edit your submissions, so you can add things. So, hey, you can turn in this one, and then tomorrow you can turn in the other one. This week, 2 of the 3 are due, because we had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next week, 4 of the 5, and that will be how it is done. You don't have to attend review sessions, but I highly recommend it. It is exactly how college will run. It's a good practice to do. It's actually a really good idea to do it that way. So please make sure you're attending those. And they're going to be, attending what you can attend. Don't overwhelm yourself. I will send out one more survey about, not through It's Learning, through Google, so to speak, but about, how are you doing, questions you may have, other concerns, other issues. I'm always welcome up for criticism. I mean, some of you are really good at doing it, and I actually really do appreciate when you do that. If there's something else you need me to do or would like me to do, please let me know. Best way to contact me is through Remind still. That's the fastest way to get a contact through. It's Learning I do respond to, but it's kind of slow. But that's pretty much it there. Hope everything's going well for everybody. And on Remind, you guys, remember, you can log in online to Remind. That's actually where I usually am with it, so it doesn't eat up your text messages. And there's an app for it, so it won't eat up your text messages as well if you want to do that. Hope everything's going well. Talk to you later. Have a good one.